In this part, we want to talk about equations. First, let's look at linear equation. The linear equation is given by this form: ax plus b equals c, where a, b, c are constants. Then the idea is we want to solve this linear equation for the variable x. So the idea is we want to isolate the variable x on one side of the equation. Okay, so for this example, if you have this kind of equation, so the idea is if a is not equal to 0, then we isolate x on one side, so we subtract b on both sides. So you have ax equals c minus b, right? Then you divide by a on both sides. So c minus b, then divide by a. So this is the solution. So here we assume a is not equal to 0. Okay, so now let's look at some examples. And this is the linear equation involving fractions. X over 3 plus 3x over 4 equals 2. To solve this kind of equation, so the first thing is we need to get rid of the denominator. So we have denominator 3 and 4. We need to find the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 12. So we multiply 12 on both sides for each term. So in other words, we multiply 12 for the first term and multiply 12 for the second term and multiply 12 on the other side. Okay, so this one will give you what? Gives you 4x, right? And this one would be 1 and 3. 3 times 3x equals 9x. Okay, so here is 1, here is 4, right? So you have 4x. So this is 24. Then we need to plus together, you will have 13x equals 24. So you can see that I put all the x term on one side. So we try to isolate the variable x on one side of the equation. Then we divide by x. Divide by 13, so you have 24 over 13. So this is the linear equation, a very simple linear equation, right? So if you have this kind of linear equation, if you have 3x minus 4 equals 2 plus 2x. So what we should do? We need to remember we need to keep the variable x on one side of the equation. So for example, we always want to put all the x term on the left side, so we subtract 2x on both sides. So you will have 3x minus 4 minus 2x equals, we subtract 2x, so here is 2, right? So we simplify. So this is 3x and this is 2x, so it becomes x, right? Minus 4 equals 2. Then we need to keep the x term only on the left side. So we add 4 on both sides, so x equals 6. So that is our answer. Now let's look at another equation, which is called the rational equation. Another example. This is the rational equation, which is 2x over x plus 3 equals negative 6 over x plus 3 minus 2. So the same thing, since we have some denominator, right? So this equation, we have some x in the denominator. So the first thing is we need to find the common denominator. So here, the common denominator is what? Is x plus 3. So we multiply x plus 3 for each term. So x plus 3 times 2x over x plus 3 equals x plus 3 times negative 6 over x plus 3 minus x plus 3 times 2, right? So this is 1 cancel out, it becomes 1, so it would be 2x. And here is, this is the 1, so it becomes negative 6 minus, so we need to expand it, right? So it's 2 times x equals 2x. And 2 times 3 equals 6, right? But if you write this, that will give you a wrong answer. The reason is, keep in mind here is the negative sign. So we would better to add a parenthesis first, right? Then the next thing is we want to get rid of the parenthesis. So you have 2x equals negative 6 minus 2x minus 6. Okay, then we needed to isolate x on one side, so we add 2x on both sides, so it becomes 4x equals negative 6 minus 6. So it becomes 4x equals negative 12, x equals negative 3, right? But that is not the end. The reason is, when we have some x terms in the denominator, you should be careful that some x value will make the denominator to be 0. So at last, we need to check your solution for the rational equations. If you have the rational equations, always check your solutions. Okay, we check solution. How to check it? You just plug in this number into the equation. Then you will have 2 times negative 3 over negative 3 plus 3 equals negative 6 over negative 3 plus 3 minus 2. So you notice that the denominator is 0. So that means this x equals negative 3 is not the solution for this equation, right? So the answer is there is no solution.